Hello everyone, welcome to the second PUC online classes of Gopalswamy PU College. I am Suma, economics lecturer. In today's session of second PUC online classes, let us discuss the continued part of the first lesson under microeconomics, that is the production possibility frontier. It is also called as production possibility curve or transformation curve. So, what is this production possibility curve? By the name itself, we can understand that this curve is one which shows about the possibilities of the production that can be undertaken with the available resources. Now, let us see about the meaning of this production possibility frontier. It refers to the curve that shows various alternative combinations of two goods that can be produced with efficient utilization of given resources and technology. Now, in this statement, you can understand that it is the curve, it is the transformation curve or the production possibility curve that shows various alternative combinations, means different combinations of two goods that can be produced with efficient utilization of given resources and technology. So, every producer has a set of resources. He starts to produce the goods with the assistance of four important factors of production. You all know that there are four important factors of production. The first one is land. Second one is labor. The third one is capital. And the fourth one is organization. So, each and every producer goes for production of products with the assistance of these four important factors of production. So, the production possibility curve shows the various alternative combination of two goods and that can be produced with efficient utilization of the given resources and technology, because in the case of how to produce, we learned that there are two important techniques for the production of goods and services. The first one is labor intensive technique and the other one is the capital intensive technique. Here he can apply any of the techniques for the production of the goods and he produced the combination of two goods which are feasible for him and with the given resources. So, whatever may be the resources that are provided to a producer, by making the efficient utilization of those resources, he can prove that he can produce the goods with the fullest or the optimum utilization of the resources. So, here in this example, let us see the x-axis denotes wheat and y-axis denotes rice. Here the producer has a piece of land like this, and here the producer with his available piece of land and with the available resources like labor, water supply and other feasible climatic conditions, he should think of producing two goods, because every producer has in his mind that if he incurs loss from one product, he may reimburse or he may recover it with the another product. So, mixed cropping is a popular type of farming. Therefore, here he plans to produce both rice and wheat on his available piece of land with the given resources. So, here he starts producing 20 tons of paddy. It is paddy after it will be converted into rice. So, he grows 20 tons of paddy and he stops wheat production to the extent of only 10 tons. So, he makes the use of land to the maximum for the cultivation of paddy and only a small portion of the land is made use to produce the wheat. in this case, here there is the production possibility curve in which he produces the goods at point A. And in the second case, he limits the production of paddy to only 10 tons and he extends the production of wheat to 20 tons. So again, here the production possibility curve is shown at the point B. So in both the cases, he is going to get profit, but it depends upon the efficient utilization of the resources. So now he is applying method of both the capital intensive as well as the labor intensive technique of production. So if any of these product demands the necessity of more number of labors, then he goes for that product where if he has the availability of the labors. If that product doesn't require the assistance of labors, then he goes for the cultivation of the production with lesser amount of labors. So the two important points that we can see here is the production of the rice or paddy for 20 tons and limiting himself for the production of wheat to only 10 tons. In the case of the second or point B, the rice is or paddy is cultivated for only 10 tons of harvest and the wheat is cultivated to the extent of 20 tons of harvest. So in both the cases, he has efficiently utilized the resources available and he has produced with the given amount of technology or with the given technological assistance. Next, now let us see, here we are finding the point F, that is here if he limits himself for only 10 tons of rice and 10 tons of wheat, we can say this as the underutilization of resources. So at the point of F, where he confines himself for the production of only 10 tons of paddy and 10 tons of wheat, then it is the underutilization of the resources. So it is not a feasible combination here. But again, if he goes for the overutilization of resources by producing beyond the production possibility curve, then he goes for the overutilization of the resources with the available technology. So the point F denotes the underutilization of the resources and point Z denotes the overutilization of the resources. So here the whatever that can be attainable is produced and here he goes to the maximum beyond the production possibility frontier and he goes for the attainment of the additional harvest or attainment of the additional for the cultivation of the additional crops with the available technology. So this is known as the production possibility curve. So the production possibility curve is one that shows various alternative combinations of two goods that can be produced with the efficient utilization of the resources and technology. So here he has applied both the available resources and the given technology in the cultivation of both paddy as well as wheat and he has taken the harvest out of the available resources. So now let us move towards the another important topic of this first lesson, that is under microeconomics. We will learn now about the opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? What is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is one which refers to the cost of foregone opportunities or alternatives. That is, it is the cost of availing its next best alternative use. So whatever the cost we pay for availing the next best alternative use. So for example, if we go to a shop for buying toothpaste. In a shop, if we demand for a product we regularly use, for example, if it is a Colgate toothpaste, then in that shop, if that is not available because of the clearance of the stock or because if the stock is exhausted of Colgate toothpaste, then I will go for another product. Then the shopkeeper offers me about another brand of toothpaste. So for example, he may give me the offer of Pepsodent toothpaste. So for that I may have to pay extra amount. It is the cost of availing its next best alternative use. So I may have to pay additional amount for the next best alternative for availing its utility. So the opportunity cost is the cost of availing its next best. Which next best? The previous one which I have demanded. So it is the cost of availing its next best alternative use. We can explain opportunity cost as it is the return from the second best use of the firm's resources which the firm forgoes in order to avail the return from the best use of the resources. So here you all know that a firm is a part of industry. We have demanded for the product of a toothpaste, and all the other brands of toothpaste are also a part of the toothpaste industry or toothpaste manufacturing industry. So in the same industry there are different types of firms which manufacture different brands of toothpaste. So opportunity cost is the return from the second best use of the same firm's resources which the firm forgoes in order to avail of the return from the best use of the resources, because each and every industry has innumerous number of firms which are operating in the industry by producing different brands of the same product of that industry. So here if one firm's product is not available in the market at that particular point of time, then the same industries another firm is providing us the next best alternative. So we may have to pay in addition to the regular cost or in addition to the previous one, then that cost is referred as the opportunity cost. I wish to end up today's session with a thought for the day. The thought for today is, there is always a purpose for our pain, a reason for our struggle, and a reward for our faithfulness. So at any time of our life we should not develop the give up attitude. We should always possess the never give up attitude, because there is always a purpose for our pain. God has a purpose for our pain, and there is a reason for our struggle. So behind everything there is a reason, and there is a reward for our faithfulness. So at the time of our pains and struggles, if we are faithful, then there is definitely a very important reward. There is definitely a reward for that. So you should always be faithful. So we are all not only born for to be successful but also to be faithful. So being faithful is a very good attitude to combat the struggles of life, because one day or the other definitely we are benefited out of our faithfulness. This statement says you, or this thought says you, that you should keep on moving in spite of different types of pains and struggles, because having the ability to face all the struggles will only give you the capacity to face all the challenges. So you have to have that ability of facing the struggles and the barricades that come on your way with tolerance, and definitely this tolerance leads you towards facing all the challenges with the inner strength. So with this I conclude today's session. Thank you.